What up, people? Chris here to give some predictions for UFC 155. A couple things I want to say about this card before I do the vid, obviously, and before I give my thoughts, predictions, picks, whatever you want to call it. Um, for a New Year's Eve type of card, which UFC is usually a stacked card, as well as a event that's main evented by the heavyweight championship fight, seems like UFC 155 is a little bit under the radar. I don't know if it's because of the time of the year or, there was such a strong push for UFC on Fox 5 earlier in the month, but just seems like this event's not quite getting the hype that you would imagine it would. Of course, this is fight week, so that'll probably change. Probably put a strong push for it in the media this week. As far as the event overall, pretty solid card. I'm just going to give some brief thoughts on the undercard, or non-main event pass, I guess you would say. Brad Pickett, Eddie Wineland. It's a good fight, man. Good matchup. Should be a competitive fight. I favor Wineland to win that one, though. Chris Lieben and Derek Brunson. Lieben back after being away for a year. Brunson, if you don't already know, the guy tried out for this last season's Ultimate Fighter, made it. Strikeforce / Showtime said he couldn't go in the house because he was with Strikeforce. Well, that didn't work out for him, but this did. However, I don't know how this fight's going to work out for him. Replacing Carlos Vemela, I actually would have preferred that fight against Lieben stylistically. Brunson's a solid wrestler, but doesn't have the best chin, and Lieben, if nothing else, has power. Be interesting to see how Lieben responds after being away for a year and always battling those substance abuse problems, but I'll favor the Cat Smasher to get a TKO stoppage here. Yushin Okami, Alan Belcher too. Forgot these guys had even fought a first time. It was back in 2006. Okami won a decision. I favor this one to go a little bit, or I think this one will go a little bit different. Okami, even though he won his last fight against Buddy Roberts, he looked pretty bad in the first round against a pretty nondescript opponent. He ended up getting the stoppage in the second round, but Roberts is doing pretty good on the feet. If Roberts can do good on the feet against Okami, I think Belcher can light him up. Okami's got the better wrestling. Probably look to get this in the clinch or put Belcher on his back, but if he can't do that, look for Belcher to pile up the points en route to a decision, if not a late, I'd say decision. So I'll go with Allen Talent Belcher to take this one. Fight that I'm most looking forward to, one that was supposed to happen a couple weeks ago in the Ultimate Fighter finale. Melvin the Young Assassin, Giard taking on Jamie Varner. Does Varner have a nickname? Seems like he should, but it wouldn't be like something that, I don't know, he's kind of polarizing, so I don't think it'd be something complimentary. But either way, yeah, really looking forward to this fight. Two guys that are good fighters, very good. Both got explosive punching power, solid wrestlers, but both are flawed. Both seem to be their own worst enemies, seem to self-destruct and end up costing themselves a win. Melvin said that he thought Varner looked scared at the weigh-in. Varner pulled out of the fight, said he was feeling ill, accused Melvin of greasing. Kind of sounds like maybe Melvin's in Varner's head. So taking that into account, plus the fact that I think Melvin hits a little bit harder, although I don't know if he has a better chin, that's up for debate. I'm going to favor the Young Assassin to get this one. I'll go with him by stoppage, but if Melvin gets submitted, I won't be surprised if it goes to the ground. Jim Miller, actually, you know what? Tim Bosch, Konstantinos Philippou. This was originally supposed to be Tim Bosch versus Chris Weidman, which the winner was supposed to probably going to get a title shot next, if not Bisping beating Vitor coming up in January. But unfortunately, Weidman got hurt. He was replaced by teammate Konstantinos Philippou. This fight just became a lot less appealing. Favor Bosch to win this one by decision. All right, new co-main event of the night. Jim Miller, Joe Lozon. Another fight that was had a replacement. It was originally Joe Lozon versus Gray Maynard. A fight that is good on paper, but it wasn't all that interesting because I think Gray Maynard would have ran over Joe Lozon in all honesty. This fight, I think, is a little bit more competitive and a little bit more intriguing. Both guys solid in stand-up, but apply the majority of their trade or their expertise on the ground. And I think that could make for a compelling jiu-jitsu battle. So Miller, I think, is a little bit better on the feet. Maybe. He's a better wrestler here, for sure. He's coming in on a little bit of late notice. Not too much, though. But I think I give Miller the edge because I think he has better cardio. Lozon seems to tire as the fight goes on. I don't think either guy's going to get a stoppage here, although it can happen by submission. But I think Lozon is going to get stronger or be able to maintain his stamina and conditioning as the fight wears on, where Lozon gets tired and maybe they split the first two rounds and Miller takes the third en route to a decision win. But I hope for a good match on the ground, a good jiu-jitsu battle or a grappling battle, because we don't see that very often between two guys. And I think these two guys can get it done. All right, main event of the night. Heavyweight champion, UFC heavyweight champion, Junior Santos defending his title against the man who he took it from, Cain Velasquez. can't really take a whole lot from the first fight, you know. We know that both guys were injured going into it. Obviously, Cain got knocked out in a little over a minute, but I don't think we're going to see the same Velasquez in this fight, assuming that he's coming in 100%, which we hope he is, I imagine. Most people would hope he would be, because you want to see these guys at their absolute best. JDS coming off that knockout over Mir, Cain coming off that absolute bludgeoning of Bigfoot. That goes to show that Cain, although he's competent in the stand-up department, he is best trying to put his opponents on their back and just wrecking them with his vicious ground and pound. And that's something that he needs to try to do against Junior Dos Santos. From what I can recall, aside from the fact that JDS is undefeated in his UFC tenure, I don't believe he's ever been put on his back. If so, it must have been for a very brief amount of time. He's certainly never been in any trouble or ever been threatened during his time in the UFC. So if Cain's able to get him there, I want to see both how JDS's, submission defense or submission game is, or how he fares from his back, and if Cain can, do some damage from the top position like he did in his last fight. That said, obviously we know JDS has serious power. I don't know if Cain has a bad chin or not. The place where he got hit would probably stun anybody, especially if you're getting hit by a guy with the size of JDS. But I think that you got to favor JDS, not only because he won the first fight, but because he is more likely to end this fight at any moment because of his punching power. Cain's going to have to really pound out a win against JDS. I'm not saying he can't get a cut stoppage or stop him on strikes on the ground, but I don't think he's going to knock him out standing. So JDS is more likely to land that one punch that can end the fight or put Cain in trouble and then finish the fight like he did the first time around. However, if the fight goes past the third round, I think it favors Cain. We've never really seen JDS go late. Cain's known for having endless cardio, particularly for the heavyweight division. So if it makes it past the third, I think Cain could get a decision. But if it ends before then, I'm going to go with JDS by knockout. But I do expect a different fight from the first one. I don't think that lightning's going to strike twice here. No 1 minute knockout this time around. I'd be shocked if it happens. All right. What are your guys' thoughts on the event? Are you looking forward to it? I am looking forward to it. But are you looking forward to it? Which fights are you most anticipating? Who do you got in some of the fights I mentioned, or the ones you're interested in, and why? And how do you see the main event going? And who do you see winning that one and how? That's it for now. Talked about this event a little bit more in depth on this past week's Science Science Radio Show. Links to that, as well as everything Science Science related, as well as my Twitter, in the information part of the video as always. I'll be back probably on Saturday and afterwards to do a post-fight video, but until then, I'm out.